going to see Insidious. I don't know if it's the second one. I think this might be the fourth one, but not too optimistic about this one. So I think this will be a good one to do a raw review, a raw reaction video for. But we'll see how it goes. If it's good, you might not see this video, but if it's bad, ooh, let's go. The anticipation builds. Ooh. Okay, so I just saw Insidious. I want to say the last chapter. I feel like that's The Conjuring. Yeah, Insidious 4. So things I remember about that. Not much, honestly. So yeah, I just got through the theater. I actually filmed. This isn't actually 100% my first unfiltered reaction. I did another video where I just was walking home. Audio quality was really bad on that. You couldn't hear me. It was shaking everywhere, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like a bad Paranormal Activity ripoff. So I'm like, Urgh. But yeah, my first impressions of the movie. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. In fact, the only reason why I actually watched in the first place is because one of my fraternity brothers was like, "Oh, this is the worst film in the world. Don't spend money on it." I'm like, "I'll be the judge of that." I saw the Emoji Movie 3 times, so I know what a waste of money is. But yeah, first impressions. It's okay. I think the things I'll remember most about it is, so let's establish some things here. So the movie's about this psychic medium-ish type deal. I looked at the Wikipedia page because I couldn't remember who two of the other main characters were. I think it's Tucker and Specs. They have this partnership with this old lady named Elise who has this ability to talk to ghosts and see ghosts and occasionally do things to them. It's kind of undefined in this world. But yeah, it's a setup. Old lady, two guys, she gets this call. This time, she usually helps people out. I don't know. She says she has a day job, but I don't know if she gets paid to do this. Doesn't matter, honestly. You don't need to see like, oh, here's a little check for helping with the ghosties. We don't need to see that. We just need to see the drama and such. But this time, it's about her own house where she grew up with, and there's layers to this that we need to unpack here. So, honestly speaking, lots of twists and turns. Let me just, spoiler warning if you care about the last Insidious, spoiler warning right here. She grew up in this house with her mom and dad. When she was very young, she had these abilities. Her dad was afraid of these abilities for an unknown reason. Beat the crap out of her whenever she would do it. Use her abilities. Got to the point where like she had this really bad night. Was in the basement because I guess that that's what he did for punishment for her. Demon comes out, kind of whispers to her, and then it's kind of vague as to like what happens. But her mom comes down, and the demon kills her mom, and it's kind of comical. You have this little rope come down from the ceiling, and it's you can tell you're trying to do a practical effect, but it looks utterly fake and just hangs her. So after that, the dad's a big asshole, still doesn't believe in that, I guess, but he's afraid. She's at the age of 16. By the way, this is revealed to us, a little bit. So a lot of these are supposed to be twists. But she leaves at the age of 16 because the dad's a big asshole. Never comes back. Leaves her little brother to be alone with the dad, who later finds out turns into this serial killer. The movie's excuse for this is that the demon made him do that. The demon, by the way, let's get into the demon real quick. I keep on forgetting that I recorded this earlier, so let's snap. So the demon looks like the Iron Maiden mascot. It's basically the Iron Maiden mascot, but with keys for hands, which are comical. I laughed when I saw the trailer because I'm like, that's totally impractical. It's like, oh, are you trying to make me afraid of keys? Like, fuck off. Like nah, it's keys. What do you expect? They're keys. What are you gonna make me afraid of like beer cans next? Like or like tomatoes? Like, you can't make keys scary. I'm sorry. So yeah, the demon's laughable. I have to say, all of the horror part of this is awful. It relies overly on jump scares. Every scare is a jump scare, which I was kind of disappointed with because the last film I saw from this team was The Conjuring 2, which I think is an offshoot of Insidious. Um, but yeah, with that, there were scares that were not jump scares. Every scare in here is a jump scare, and it got to the point where like I was basically playing a game with myself. It's like spot the next jump scare, and there's a lot of red herrings, but like, yeah, yeah, every like yeah, no, you could tell like when a scare was about to happen and was predictable, and that's you don't want that with a horror film. You need to have other little scares sprinkled out around there if you want to do that. Um, but anyways, the horror part is just awful. If you want to come here to be scared, you won't get that. However, there are parts of this that I liked, specifically with the dynamics of Elise and her brother, who she hasn't seen in years. That was I found it to be very interesting. I think that's something they should have explored more. Um, but like, yeah, there's this moment where like the brother drives away, and we don't see him until the end of the movie, and I'm like, that was one of the most interesting things. Like, let us see them rebuild their relationship. I understand you have to be a shitty horror film, but you can have interesting character moments as well. There's these two, I guess. What's the proper term? They're her brother's daughters. So I guess nieces, who are in their 20s. Her associates, Tucker and Specs. Let's talk about them for a little second. They're as side characters. So Tucker is this guy with this beard, long hair. He basically does everything that Elise can't do. Like there's a moment where like he has to use his strength and expertise in mechanics or something with tools to lift out this vent that's very heavy for her. He sets up all the tech. I don't know what Specs does. Specs is a comic relief character, and might I say that the dialogue in this film is very awkward. Like it's dialogue that I would probably write. In fact, honestly, like this, I'm filming this live, and honestly, like I feel as if like a lot of it comes off as that. I guess some of it might have been ad libbed, but I feel as if a lot of this movie was rushed. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. The twists when you like, there's a twist that so like when they go to see the house, there's somebody that lives there that called in. The guy ends up being this weird pervert that was locking like girls in the dungeon, just like the father, and except like they kind of like acquit the father of that because like, oh, the demon did it, and it's kind of implied that the demon made him do it too, although our main characters end up killing this man. Granted that he tried to murder them too, so it's kind of like, well, wasn't that guy innocent? Didn't they kill an innocent man? um Kind of left unsaid. There's a lot of little when you go into, there's a lot of twists here, and people like, for instance, with Star Wars: The Last Jedi, people criticize that of having twists that make no sense, diverted expectations for no reason. Insidious: The Last Key, that's all it does. um but like for instance, there's like again, yeah, there might be jump cuts in this, by the way, just so it's a little more manageable. But yeah, like there's damn, like again, like what like examining that guy that helped them. Like I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. It's like you kind of wrote yourself into a hole there, guys. So he was a murderer. He murdered women, locked them in the basement, did whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm guessing he had sex with them because I mean they're like every girl that was kidnapped is in like this slimpy like dress. Except if the demon made him do it, then wasn't he innocent and a puppet like the father? And then you killed an innocent man, and then that's never brought up ever again once that happens. There's another point in which, like, one of the main characters knocks him out. Like, he's knocked out stone cold. Like, literally takes a thing. I couldn't even see. It was bad lighting, so, like, knocks him over the head. The gun is far flung. The guy's probably out cold. And then, unnecessarily, it was Specs. He takes this dresser And like that's how they kill him. Like he was already disarmed, and they just killed him for no reason. And then his face is kind of weird, and I'm like, is the demon has the demon taking control of him? Never brought up again. Never brought up again. And then like there's another point at which, um, like she like after that they're at this police station and they're being questioned, about the death of the man. And then like her dead mother like pops up just to be like blah, jump scare, blah. And like she kind of freaks out, and you could tell that the cop that was like interviewing her, what questioning was kind of like, okay, you're weird, you're a psychic medium, are you a nutcase? And then she has the reaction, he's just like, you can go, you know. Honestly, I feel like that's not how a cop would react. But there's a lot of stuff like that. You know, the movie sacrifices its own internal logic for cheap jump scares. It doesn't really carry the logic to it. I mean, there's this one scene where like apparently like the father killed like all these women and put their remains in suitcases inside this vent that anybody could have found. So like they did that so that they could have Elise crawl into this vent, and so you could be a little scared. But again, that makes no sense. And like there's like even like this slip from like the 1950s that's still there. So like she goes in, grabs the slip, and like it's caught on all these suitcases, and it literally like it's like there it is. They're all over there, and it's like that makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like if he was gonna kill them, why not put like their remains? Why not bury them under the house or inside the walls or not anything but there? And it's just when you start to think about this movie, it crumbles to pieces. But yeah, this is getting kind of long. So like, I guess final impressions. I mean, I guess if I want to do a further review of this, I mean, I'll talk about it there. But first impressions. If you want to watch this, if you have disposable income, I would say see it. If you're kind of on a budget, don't hold off. Wait for Netflix or Hulu. It's an average horror film. It's not the worst. Actually, I retract that. It's an average film. It sucks as a horror film, but it's an average film. A decent character film. You know, that you know, if I would have to give it a quick grade right now, knowing that if I were to return to it, it might change. I would say that this is a C plus or B minus movie. Lean more on the C plus. I thought it was better than the new Jumanji. I don't think it's anywhere near as close to the Emoji movie. Yeah, C plus. If I honestly, if you're on a budget, you want to see it on Hulu or Netflix. It feels like it would fit right in there. I don't know why this was released. I mean, I guess my one big regret is I could tell like the talented people worked on this. Was well shot. I get it was well shot. I mean, the cinematography was good. It was interesting. Just if the script and the director was right, if it was focused, it could have been a good horror film. But it's kind of mediocre as it is. But yeah, that's my thoughts. If you differ, leave in the comment below. If you want me to do an expanded, like a real in-review on this, let me know. If you want to see me do more of these more raw videos, because they're easier to produce, let me know. But other than that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more of my content. This is me, Mitchell Chapman. That's me signing out. Peace.